You want me to print this?
I do.
If this gets printed, Tracy.
I know. But for lack of a less melodramatic phrase, if I can't have ELQ, then nobody can.
Are you serious?
I don't expect you to understand. My degenerate nephew and his treacherous son stole the company out from under me and put themselves in charge. But not for long.
Okay, look, it's been a rough day, as you can see.
Yeah, somebody tried to redecorate.
Yeah, you're gonna have to give me a better explanation about why you want this printed.
Simple. AJ and Michael cannot run the company if there's no company left to run.
So let me get this straight. You decided to shore up your company's bottom line with the cash infusion from the mob.
ELQ was going through a rough patch.
Yes. And Gino Solito's money would just patch that all up.
I managed to access some of my late husband's funds, which I put into ELQ without doing an appropriate background check.
Fancy words, but what this really boils down to is that this high and mighty Quartermain was slumming it. And everyone thought that ELQ was so pure, right? And it's nothing but a front.
ELQ is not a front. It was my father's life's work. He could have rested on his inheritance. He could have lived off of his trust fund, but no. Instead, he chose to build a dynamic company with interests all over the world.
Well, if it's so freaking fantastic, Tracy, why are you trying to destroy it to spite your nephew? Use my paper to send your company to Kingdom Come. I got a right to ask you this. Isn't there some other way you can get back at your nephew and his son that doesn't take the company down with him?
Actually, I was hoping that would be possible, but AJ outmaneuvered me. He didn't do it by himself. Left to his own devices, he's completely ineffectual. He had help, mostly from his son, Michael. People do things for Michael that they wouldn't do for AJ.
You know, I met AJ the other night. To tell you the truth, I didn't think he's such a bad guy.
And where did this meeting take place? In a bar, perhaps? Tell me he was drinking.
No, he was white-knuckling the booze, for sure. The guy's got a problem, no question.
Well, alcoholism is just a symptom. He is arrogant, entitled, and completely incompetent.
But he seems to really love his son, and in my book, that means something. AJ told me that he never had a relationship with his son until now, and he wanted to work with him. More importantly, he wanted to get to know him, form a bond, which is more than I can have with my son.
I heard about Trey. I'm sorry you lost your son. I imagine you and Christina are in a lot of pain.
Yeah, I'm in pain, all right. Christina's got a screw loose. Just before you got here, she came in here. She tried to kill me. She came at me with the baseball bat. And as you can see, she wasn't kidding around.
Did she give you a reason for her rampage?
Yeah, she blames me for the accident that killed Trey. And she's not too far from the truth.
So she was justified.
I didn't know my own kid. I didn't want to know him because of where he came from. His father, Joe Scully, raped me. And I was pregnant. And I sure as hell didn't want a baby, so I left it in a dresser drawer and I took off. And all these years later, when I caught up to him, I treated him like crap. And I told him that I wish he'd been aborted. What do you care anyway? You're just here to screw your own nephew.
You're wrong. I do care. Actually, I had my own dealings with Joe Scully.
Well, lucky you.
Funny thing is, I did think I was lucky at first. I had found myself the odd woman out in a love triangle, and it did something to me. It undermined my confidence. It made me feel old and invisible and more alone than I'd ever been in my life. And then along came Joe. And yes, I know everything that he did now, but then I had no idea. He was very good at hiding his dark side.
Yeah, he was. His own son spent most of his life thinking he was a decent guy.
Well, I know one thing for sure is that he loved Trey very much, no matter how much he used him. My boy. My Trey. Oh. He had some lousy parents. That kid never had a chance.
Sorry.
Okay, enough of that. Just got a little weepy for a minute. All this talk about Joe Jr. and my kid.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring up any bad feelings.
You didn't. So why don't we just skip this obfess and get back to business? What do you say?
Okay,
Well, I think I got the picture. You hate AJ like poison, and the last thing you want is for him to take over your business.
My father hated weakness and lack of resolve. AJ Quartermain is the embodiment of both those failings. He cannot have my company. This is the way to stop him.
But doesn't the SEC cut both ways? If I print this, it'll take down AJ and ELQ, but it'll bring you down as well. Is that what you want?
I am fully aware that I could lose my standing, my stock portfolio, and perhaps even my freedom when the SEC finds out that I used Solito money to keep ELQ in the black. I'm fine with it.
You are.
ELQ is all I have.
Okay, now you lost me.
It was my fear that those documents would see the light of day that gave Anthony Zaccara his leverage over me and forced me into the worst marriage of my life.
You get married a lot?
I have terrible taste in men.
Join the club.
I picked one. Or he picked me. Not to say he didn't lie, steal, and cheat, but he was never boring. We were kindred spirits.
He died.
No, he chose someone else.
What? Who is this lowlife rat?
Thanks. Lucas Lorenzo Spencer. And he is a rat. He is a lowlife. But he's also a man of extraordinary character. He just wanted Anna Devane more than he wanted me.
Well, you know what I say, Tracy? It's a mistake letting anyone into your heart. Especially when you look into their eyes and you see they're wishing you were someone else. Why would your personal life, pathetic though it may be, make you want to blow up your father's company and you along with it?
I told you. ELQ is all I have. Had. And granted, it can get very lonely with corporate returns the only thing to keep you warm at night, but it's better than nothing. And then AJ rises from the dead to take it all away? No.
Okay, here's a suggestion. Instead of burning ELQ to the ground, why don't you steal it back?
Because there won't be anything left to steal. The only thing AJ is good at is drinking himself stupid. Left in his hands, ELQ will suffer a slow and painful death from misappropriated funds, bad investments, the inevitable decline of a once great company. I would rather put it out of its misery myself.
You play for keeps, Tracy. I'll give you that.
The only one who is going to destroy this company is going to be me. It is mine to the end.
Okay. Are you sure about this?
No. But you go and print it.
Okay. Tomorrow, this will hit the stands, and ELQ will come tumbling down. No, because you're the city editor and I want you to handle it personally, so get off your ass and hightail it to my office pronto. No, I cannot email it to you. You have to come up here. Hold on, please. Can I help you?
Yeah. Would it be possible for us to have a discussion about the situation with Christina?
Well, Sonny, there's nothing to discuss. She came at me with the baseball bat, tried to kill me. End of story.